Well, we've got some bodies in here today, haven't we? It's really good of you to join us, in fairness, on what is a beautiful spring/summer's day at the Royal Welsh Showground. A showground that holds so much personal memories for me, as my father was a director here for 40 years, and I had the privilege of also being the candidate back in 2005 in this great constituency. And it's great to see so many blue signs as we come up. Whether you've come... Whether you've come north, east, south or west, whichever way you've travelled, you've seen Chris Davies' name around this constituency. And what better way to get the yellow peril out of our hair than elect Chris Davies to be the MP and build on the work that Glyn Davies had in Montgomeryshire in 2010 and clear them out from mid-Wales once and for all. That's what we want to do. But above all, what we want to be doing today is launching this manifesto that shows there's a real alternative here in Wales to make sure that the Prime Minister's returned on May the 8th as a majority Conservative Prime Minister. That's what we're working for, and that's what Wales needs. And we are highlighting what the alternative is to make sure that Labour are booted out of as many constituencies as possible and build on the hopes and aspirations of many of those communities. I, as a father of 4 children, want to make sure they grow up in a Wales where there is hope, there is opportunity, and above all, that hope and that opportunity is delivered by a Prime Minister such as David Cameron and a Conservative Party that has this great country close to its heart, delivering for its people and securing it, whether you're young, you're old, or you're middle-aged, whether you're on your pensions, whether you're in school, or whether you're in work. The Conservative Party, as you can see from our manifesto today, is delivering for all sections of our community, and that is what all our candidates who are sitting here in the front row will be fighting over the next 20 days to make sure that that Conservative voice is heard loud and clear. It's therefore my great pleasure to welcome to the stage the Prime Minister, David Cameron.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, Prynawn da, good afternoon, everyone. Great to be here, back at this fantastic showground and back with this wonderful Welsh team. And it is worth just taking a moment to say what we've got. We've got Stephen Crabb. Oh, they're coming to get you. We've got Stephen Crabb, the Welsh Secretary, who gets things done on infrastructure, on devolution, things that Labour put off for years. We've got Alan Cairns, the Welsh Minister, who's driving regeneration across Wales. And let me tell you, I was with him on Barry Island last week. First ice cream of the year. It was a good one at Marco's. People were coming up to me, business people were coming up to me and saying that Alan had got more done in 5 years than Labour did in 13. That's the quality of the team that we've got. And of course, there's Andrew R.T. Davies, the leader who holds the government to account in Cardiff Bay. And my friends, I've seen him on the doorstep. I've seen him in the Senate chamber. And I now know what the RT stands for. Real trooper. That is Andrew. And let me say this to our activists. You show real passion. You show real determination. You serve our party. You serve our country. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say a really big thank you to all of you for what you've done and for what you're going to do in these next vital 20 days. Because Conservatives in Wales always take on the big challenges. But in 20 days, we face our biggest yet. The most important election in a generation. The election, of course, won't just determine who's in government. It's much more important than that. It's going to determine the jobs that will be there for you. How much money is in your pocket. The sort of life you can give your children, the security you will have in retirement, and nothing less than the future of Wales. Now, to win this fight, we have a simple message. We have come so far. Just think how far we can go. Let's not go back to square one. Let us finish what we've begun. But before we look ahead, let's just look back for a moment. Let's remember what we found when we took office. Jobs lost, businesses boarded up, homes repossessed. Labour's belief in Wales had hit zero. There was no vision for its future. And in these past 5 years, we haven't just cleared up the mess in our country, we've demonstrated our belief in the potential of this great nation. And frankly, that began on day one, when I became Prime Minister, when I started that respect agenda between the Welsh and UK governments. And look what's happened since. We've been the first government to have a major referendum on lawmaking powers for the Welsh Assembly, the first government to commit to introduce a funding floor so Wales always gets its fair share, the first government to allow the Welsh Assembly to set taxes and to borrow, the first government to invest in a new nuclear power station at Wilver and a new prison in Wrexham, to upgrade the M4 and electrify the main line to Swansea and the Valley lines. And yes, we were the government that chose to host NATO, the largest gathering of global leaders ever in our country, right here in Wales. And what a proud moment that was for Wales. And I was even the first serving Prime Minister to visit the Royal Welsh Show right here in Builth. I came as Leader of the Opposition. I said I would come back as Prime Minister, and if elected on May the 7th, I'll be back here this summer once again at this wonderful event. So we've had respect for Wales, but above all, we've had a plan for Wales. Because for too long, families felt like they were doing the right thing, but things weren't going their way. They'd struggle to get a job, and when they did, they'd struggle to pay the bills. They'd work hard every single day, but still feel like the system was working against them. Our long-term economic plan has been about turning that around, about making this a country where if you work hard, if you want to get on, you can have a good life, with a good job, a good home, a good start for your children, and a good and secure retirement. In the last 5 years, our plan has helped us to get 52,000 more people into work in Wales. And let's just pause for a moment and consider those employment statistics out today. The rate of employment in the last quarter rose faster here in Wales than in any other nation or region of the United Kingdom. That's what's happening to Wales under the Conservatives, and that's what we must build on. We've cut the income taxes of 1.2 million people living in Wales. We've increased that state pension so that it's £950 a year higher today than when I became Prime Minister. We've frozen fuel duty, invested in our roads and railways and broadband. And all these things have had one aim at their heart, and that is to give people in Wales security at every stage of your life. And that goal is right here in this manifesto too. When you're bringing up children, when family budgets are a strain, you want to keep more of the money you earn. That's why we've already increased the amount you can earn before paying tax from £6,475 to £10,600. Now, in the next Parliament, we're going to increase that to £12,500. The result will be clear. No one on the minimum wage working 30 hours a week will pay any income tax whatsoever. And what's more, we will put that into law. Yes, the tax-free minimum wage, but only with the Conservatives. And when you're getting up at the crack of dawn to work, you want to know that you're not putting in all those hours to pay for someone else who chooses not to take a job. That's why we're reducing the benefit cap to £23,000, because we, the Conservatives, believe that work should really pay in our country. Now, when you get older, you want to know that you'll get the security that you need. And in the next Parliament, you will, because we have the triple lock, so the state pension will go up by a decent amount each year, and the pensioner benefits will be protected too, the winter fuel allowance, the TV licence, the bus pass, the prescriptions, all of those benefits. And while we're doing this, we're not just going to cut the budget deficit, we're going to eliminate it and run a surplus. Because as Conservatives, we will never leave unsustainable debts for our children and grandchildren to pay. And I can tell you now, that is the way it's going to stay. Now, what matters most, what is crucial to families' security, is a job. Now, in the past 5 years, we've seen 1,000 jobs created every day. And earlier today, I set out my jobs manifesto for the next 5 years. So millions more can know the satisfaction, the self-esteem and the security that comes with being in work. And right at the heart of that Jobs Manifesto is a recognition, a core conservative belief. It's not government that creates jobs, it's businesses. So we have a long-term plan to get behind the key industries here in Wales. All those industries of the future where the jobs and the growth are going to come from. Like aerospace, that industry is growing 10 times faster than the rest of our economy. Over the next 17 years, it's estimated that 29,000 new large civil airliners will be needed. And we've got the ingredients right here in Wales to take advantage of that, the talent and the expertise. You can see it in Broughton, where our engineers, along with their colleagues in Bristol, are making the wings of every single Airbus plane in the world. Take defence. Our defence industry has an annual turnover of £22 billion. We've got more small businesses in this sector than Spain, Italy, France and Norway put together. And we're the second largest exporter in the world after America, including General Dynamics in Blackwood, whose graduates and apprentices are developing the equipment that our troops need to keep us safe. These industries of the future, they're not just about increasing the size of our GDP, they're about the sort of country we want to be. We want Wales to be a place that's riding the wave of innovation, seizing the newest opportunities, creating the jobs, the apprenticeships, the graduate schemes, and the opportunities its people need. A decent job, a good chance, a fair shot, that is what we want for everyone, because that's what's going to make lives better and our country greater. So that is our offer to the